ಗುಡ್ ಮಾರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಡ್ಯಾಲಸ್, ಗುಡ್ ಮಾರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಅಮೆರಿಕಾ, ಹಾಗೆ ಗುಡ್ ಈವ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದವರಿಗೆ, ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿನವರಿಗೆ ಈ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಗೆಳೆಯ, ಈ ನಿಮ್ಮ RJ, ಈ ನಿಮ್ಮ RK ಕನ್ನಡವಾಣಿ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಈ ಭಾನುವಾರ ಸ್ವಾಗತ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮನೇ ಇದೆ. ನಿಮ್ಗೆಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ದ ಹಾಗೆ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಪೋಸ್ಟರ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಾನು ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ, ಪೋಸ್ಟರ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆಲ್ಲ ಕಳಿಸಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಅದು ಯಾರು ಗೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, ಆದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಾನು ಇನ್ನೂ ಮಾಹಿತಿ ಕೊಡ್ತೇನೆ. ಆದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರತಿ ಭಾನುವಾರ ನಾವು ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಶುರು ಮಾಡುವ ಮೊದಲು ದೇವರನ್ನು ಎಣಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ಶುರು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಬನ್ನಿ ದೇವರ ನಾಮವನ್ನು ಎಣಿಸೋಣ, ಕೇಳೋಣ, ಹಾಗೇನೆ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮವನ್ನು ಶುರು ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಕನ್ನಡವಾಣಿ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆಲ್ಲ ಸ್ವಾಗತ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಈ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಗೆಳೆಯ ರಾಜೀವ್ ಕುಲಕರ್ಣಿ ಮತ್ತೊಮ್ಮೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಬನ್ನಿ ಈ ಸುಂದರವಾದ ಹಾಡನ್ನು ಕೇಳೋಣ. ವಿದ್ಯಾಭೂಷಣ ತೀರ್ಥ ಅವರು ಹಾಡಿದ ಈ ಹಾಡು.
ಏಳು ನಾರಾಯಣನೇ, ಏಳು ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ರಮಣ, ಏಳು ಕಮಲಾಕ್ಷ ಕಮಲನಾಭ, ಎಳೆಯ ಬೆಳಗಾಯಿತು, ಎಳೆಯ ಬೆಳಗಾಯಿತು. ಏಳು ನಾರಾಯಣನೇ, ಏಳು ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ರಮಣ, ಏಳು ಶ್ರೀಗಿರಿಯೊಡೆಯ ವೆಂಕಟೇಶ, ಏಳು ನಾರಾಯಣನೇ, ಏಳು ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ರಮಣ, ಏಳು ಶ್ರೀಗಿರಿಯೊಡೆಯ ವೆಂಕಟೇಶ. ಕಾಸಿದ್ದ ಹಾಲನ್ನು ಕಾವಡಿಯೊಳ್ ಎಪ್ಪಿಟ್ಟು ಲೇಸಾಗಿ ಕಡೆದು ಹೊಸ ಬೆಣ್ಣೆ ಕೊಡುವೆ. ಶೇಷಶಯನನೆ ಏಳು ಸಮುದ್ರ ಮಥನವ ಮಾಡು, ಶೇಷಶಯನನೆ ಏಳು ಸಮುದ್ರ ಮಥನವ ಮಾಡು, ದೇಶ ಕೆಂಪಾಯಿತು ಎಳೆಯ ಗರಿಗೆ. ಏಳು ನಾರಾಯಣನೇ, ಏಳು ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ರಮಣ, ಏಳು ಶ್ರೀಗಿರಿಯೊಡೆಯ ವೆಂಕಟೇಶ. ಅರಳು ಮಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಜಾಜಿ ಪರಿಮಳದ ಪುಷ್ಪಗಳ ಸುರರು ತಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಬಲು ಭಕ್ತಿಯಿಂದ. ಅರವಿಂದನಾಭ, ಅರವಿಂದನಾಭ, ಸಿರಿ ವಿಧಿ ಭವಾದಿಗಳೊಡೆಯ ಅರವಿಂದನಾಭ, ಕುರಿತು ಏಳೋ ಹರಿಯೇ, ಏಳು ನಾರಾಯಣನೆ, ಏಳು ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ರಮಣ, ಏಳು ಶ್ರೀಗಿರಿಯೊಡೆಯ ವೆಂಕಟೇಶ. ದಾಸರೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಬಂದು ಧೂಳಿದರು ಶನಗೊಂಡು ಲೇಸಾಗಿ ತಾಳದಂಡಿಗೆಯ ಹಿಡಿದು ಶ್ರೀಶನೆಲೆಯಾದಿ ಕೇಶವ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪಾದವನು, ಶ್ರೀಶ ನೆಲೆಯಾದಿ ಕೇಶವ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪಾದವನು ಲೇಸಾಗಿ ಸ್ಮರಿಸಿ ಹೊಗಳುವರು ಶ್ರೀಹರಿಯೇ. ಏಳು ನಾರಾಯಣನೆ, ಏಳು ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ರಮಣ, ಏಳು ಶ್ರೀಗಿರಿಯೊಡೆಯ ವೆಂಕಟೇಶ, ವೆಂಕಟೇಶ, ವೆಂಕಟೇಶ.
ಶ್ರೀ ವಿದ್ಯಾಭೂಷಣ ತೀರ್ಥ ಅವರ ಧ್ವನಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳುವಾಗ ಒಂದು ಏಳು ನಾರಾಯಣೆ, ಏಳು ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ರಮಣ, ಏಳು ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಹೇಳುವಾಗ ಆ ನಿದ್ರೆಯಿಂದ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕೋ ಬೇಡೋ ಅಂತ ಅಷ್ಟು ಒಂದು ಸುಂದರವಾದ ಒಂದು ಇಂಪಾದ ಹಾಡನ್ನು ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮವನ್ನು ಶುರು ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಕನ್ನಡವಾಣಿ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆಲ್ಲ ಸ್ವಾಗತ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಫಾರ್ ಯುವರ್ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಯಬಲ್ ಟೈಮ್ ನೀವು ಕೊಡೋದು. ಟುಡೇಸ್ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಈಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂಡ್ ವೆರಿ ವೆರಿ ಸೀರಿಯಸ್ ಕೂಡ ಒಂದ್ ಲೆಕ್ಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್. And ಅದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ I will tell you as we move forward. But before that, we have to acknowledge our supporters. ಪ್ರತಿ ಸಲದ ಹಾಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ನೀವು ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೀರಾ. ಸಪೋರ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ನಾವು ಅವರ ಫ್ಲೈಯರ್ಸ್, ಅವರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾಹಿತಿಯನ್ನು ನಾವು ಯಾವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಅವ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಅಡ್ವರ್ಟೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಅವರ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ, ಹಾಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್, ನೀವು ಕೇಳುವವರು, ನೀವು ನೋಡುವವರು, ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲದಿದ್ರೆ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ನಡೆಸೋದು ತುಂಬಾ ಕಷ್ಟ. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಬೆಂಬಲದಿಂದ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಇಂದಲೇ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ನಡೀತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಕನ್ನಡವಾಣಿ ಉದ್ದೇಶ ಮೇನ್ಲಿ ಸಪೋರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ, ಅಬೌಟ್ ಕನ್ನಡ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್, ಅಬೌಟ್ ಕನ್ನಡ ಕಲ್ಚರ್, ವೆದರ್ ಇಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಆರ್ಟ್, ವೆದರ್ ಇಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಮ್ಯೂಸಿಕ್, ವೆದರ್ ಇಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ professions like today we have a famous doctor from Bangalore. Hagene, so anything to bring it to the global platform anta helbodu. That is the main purpose of Kannadavani, and to bring to the global platform, to bring awareness, to bring the important information that is needed in today's world. Atara ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಇಂದ ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಪ್ರತಿ ಭಾನುವಾರ ಈ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಗೆಳೆಯ ರಾಜೀವ್ ಕುಲಕರ್ಣಿ ತಗೊಂಡ್ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೀನಿ. ಹಾಗೇನೆ ದ ಬಿಗ್ಗೆಸ್ಟ್ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕಲಿ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಕೊಡೋರು A&V ಪರ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟಿವ್, ಅವ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ದಿದ್ರೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಅನ್ಯಾಯ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊತೀನಿ. ಮಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಸಂದೀಪ್, he is always a backbone and he is always a huge supporting in terms of all technicalities, I would say. ಇಲ್ಲದಿದ್ರೆ ಈ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಈ ರಿಲೇ ಮಾಡೋದು ಅವ್ರು ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲಿ, ನಾನಿಲ್ಲಿ, ಹಾಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಆರ್ಟಿಸ್ಟ್, ನಮ್ಮ ಗೆಸ್ಟ್ ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ, ಇಂಡಿಯಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದುಕೊಂಡು ಟು ಬ್ರಿಂಗ್ ಇಟ್ ಟು ದ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ರಿಯಲ್ ಟೈಮಿಗೆ ನಮಗೋಸ್ಕರವಾಗಿ ಅವರು ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಬಿಗ್ ಸಲ್ಯೂಟ್ ಟು ಹಿಮ್. ಅಂಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ಎನಿ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕಲ್ ನೀಡ್ಸ್, ಫಾರ್ ಎನಿ ಇವೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ದಟ್ ಯು ನೀಡ್, definitely please contact A&V Perspective Sandeep. If you want his details, I'm more than happy to help you. And one more important thing I want to say in today's program is most of the conversation will happen in English. Adakke yen reason ante helidre, because it's a medical topic, because it is concerned with the certain age group of children, we would say, of human beings. And only medical terminologies, some medical terminologies are such that cannot be translated into Kannada. So I want to make it a very consistent and a smooth flow of conversation, so that Dr. Aruna Muralidhar, who is our guest today, whom I would like to bring upon. And before that, I want to tell about her credentials. Dr. Aruna Muralidhar she's an MD, MRCOG from UK, FRCOG from UK, FICM, senior consultant, obstetrician, and a gynecologist from Fortis Hospital, Richmond Town in Bangalore. And she has more than 24 years of experience both in UK and India. And she has special interest in high-risk pregnancy, adolescent, and mental oncology, sustainable menstruation, patient safety, and etc. Awards: Inspiring Gynecologist of South India, and a very famous rising star. And she has been in the several association and various in the international as well as national levels. And she has a past joint treasurer of Bangalore Society of Obstetricians and several other medical associations. And then active Rotarian, and currently she is a director of community service in Bangalore chapter, or in Bangalore, that district area. And she is a women activist. With that said, a small introduction of Dr. Aruna Muralidhar, I would like to welcome Dr. Aruna Muralidhar. Please welcome with me Dr. Aruna Muralidhar for this Kannadavani show. Namaskara, Aruna Avare. Welcome to the show.
Namaskara.
Thank you very much for your valuable time for this evening.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ರಾಜೀವ್ ಕುಲಕರ್ಣಿ ಅವರೇ, ತುಂಬಾ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ಈ ಶೋಗೆ ನನ್ನನ್ನು ಇನ್ವೈಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರೇಕ್ಷಕರಿಗೆ ನನ್ನ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಅಂಡ್ ಸ್ವಾಗತ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ವೆರಿ ಮಚ್.
Very nice. And I know that I heard from my friends and others that it's been raining heavily in Bangalore. And with your very busy schedule, being a doctor, being such a senior consulting doctor in a huge hospital in Bangalore, you have taken up your valuable time to address this. And today's topic is definitely a very important and very informative topic that goes to all the parents. I would say they should be aware of, and of course some of them must be aware of. But I think with your expertise and with your inputs, I think that definitely would help them further. With that said, first, as usual, in Kannadavani, we have a format. Prekshakaರಿಗೆ, they should know a little bit about our guest ಅಂತೇಳಿ. I know that you are from Bangalore. You live in Bangalore, but originally ನೀವು ಎಲ್ಲಿಯವರು? From where you come from?
ನಾನು ಇವತ್ತಿಗೂ ಎಂದೆಂದಿಗೂ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿನವಳೆ.
Okay, good.
ಹುಟ್ಟಿದ್ದು ಆಂಧ್ರ ಪ್ರದೇಶಲ್ಲಿ, ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಗೋದಾವರಿ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಬಟ್ ಒಂದು ವರ್ಷ ವಯಸ್ಸಿಂದ ಈಗ್ಲೂನು ಐ ಆಮ್ ಪ್ಯೂರ್ ಟ್ರೂ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿಯನ್. ಮೇ ಬಿ ಅಬೌಟ್ 9 years UK ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಪೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು. ಒಂದು 5 ವರ್ಷ ಡ್ಯೂರಿಂಗ್ ಮೈ MBBS I was in Bellary Medical College, but otherwise I've been completely a Bangalorean.
Bangalore person. Okay, great, very good. I'm pretty sure ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬಾ ಜನ ನಾವು ಕೇಳುವವರು ಅಥವಾ ನೋಡುವವರಿಗೆ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಖುಷಿ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು ಈ ಮಾತು ಕೇಳಿ, ನಮ್ಮ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಿನವರು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಸೊ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಅರುಣ, ಒಂದು ಮಾತು ಹೇಳಿ, ಈ ಮೆಡಿಕಲ್ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಷನ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಯಾಕೆ ನೀವು ಚೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂತ, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಅದು, ವೈ ಡಿಡ್ ಯು ಚೂಸ್ ದಟ್ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಷನ್? ವಾಟ್ ಮೇಡ್ ಯು ಟು ಚೂಸ್ ದಟ್ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಷನ್?
ಅಬ್ಸಲ್ಯೂಟ್ಲಿ. ಐ ಮೀನ್ ಇದು ಒಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಕಥೆನೆ, ಬಟ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಚಿಕ್ಕದಾಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ, when I was doing ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ತರುಣಾವಸ್ಥೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿದ್ದಾಗ, when I was in my 14th 15th year, during my 9th 10th standard, ನಮ್ ತಂದೆ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ IISc ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರು. ಬಯೋಮೆಡಿಕಲ್ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಲ್ಯಾಬ್ ನ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು, ಪಯನಿಯರ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದ ಅವರೇನೆ. ಸೊ ತುಂಬಾ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ನಮ್ಮ ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬಾ ಜನ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಎಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ IIT ಪ್ರಿಪ್ರೇಷನ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಾನು ಫುಲ್ ಝೂಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೆ. ಫುಲ್ ಥ್ರಾಟಲ್. But somewhere around my 18th year, something turned in my brain. I thought, no, I mean, I have to be a doctor. And St. John's ಒಂದು very nice ಇದಿದೆ caption or logo, their motto actually, he shall live because of me ಅನ್ನೋ ತರ. So
Wow,
that kind of really
fantastic.
inspired me. And I thought medical profession is my calling anta. So that is how
Excellent.
I took up a medical course and really passionately studied that, and then took up my post-graduation in obstetrics and gynecology, because once again, it's a wonderful mix of both medical and surgical fields, obstetrics and gynecology. Adra bari medicine illa, adralli maatadodu
Right.
irutte, patients hatra communication and interaction
Right,
irutte, plus surgery kuda irutte. So that is how obstetrics and gynecology, and actually bringing life into this world was very fascinating. And that's how I became an obstetrician and gynecologist, and to this day I enjoy being one. Thank you.
I think the profession that you chose and your title is rightly put, senior consultant anta, because when you have that interactive conversation with your patients, or you're not just prescribing certain medicine, or you just take this, you'll be fine in 3 days or 5 days or so and so forth, but you're basically consulting with them and advising them, you're guiding them, from the starting to the till they get well, or till that particular, I would call it as a project in our engineering terms. So till
Yes,
that thing is
yes.
achieved, right? Your patient is
Absolutely.
happily, he or she goes back. I think it's a perfect I think title. I see that when I was looking at when you're explaining, I was seeing that senior consultant. So I
Yes,
think that
yes.
suits perfectly fine. Excellent. Yeah. Okay, so let us move on to the actual topic of today. But before that, I know that you are a big music, you have a lot of interest in music, but I would like to play the song that you like before we go into the next serious question that I'm going to ask, which is the topic of the day. And so let's listen to your, that song, and Pallavi, Anupallavi movie song, and we'll take it further. Yeah.
Sure. Looking
Okay.
forward.
ನಗು ಎಂದಿದೆ
Beautiful selection, Aruna avare. Really, it's a lovely song. Lakshmi, picturized on Lakshmi. Anyways, today's topic, let's go on to that. Caring for adolescents ಅಂತೇಳಿ. ಸೊ ಬೇಸಿಕಲಿ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಟು ತರುಣಾವಸ್ಥೆ ಅಂತಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಅಥವಾ ಹರೆಯುವುದರನ್ನು ನೋಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಅಂತಾನು ಅಂತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಬೇಸಿಕಲಿ I think it is a need of the hour, and every parent, they must be facing quite a lot of challenges, that how to deal with this challenging age group of kids, right? So Salpa, can you give some idea
Sure.
on that, on the brief?
Yes, Raju ಅವರೇ. ಸೊ ನೀವ್ ಹೇಳ್ದಂಗೆ ತರುಣಾವಸ್ಥೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಕಡೆ ಬಾಲ್ಯಾವಸ್ಥೆನೂ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಕಡೆ ಪ್ರೌಢಾವಸ್ಥೆನೂ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಒಂಥರ ತ್ರಿಶಂಕು ಸ್ವರ್ಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಂಗೆ.
Right, it's like hung up in between.
Hung up in between, it's you're not a child and you're not an adult, so you're like somewhere in between, so you really don't know where you belong, right? There is this constant need for understanding your identity. This is a phase of intense growth, physically, mentally, emotionally, socially, and where you fit in and what's your identity. You're trying to establish that, and ಒಂಥರ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ ಎಸ್ಟೀಮ್ ನ ಬಿಲ್ಡ್ ಅಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು. ಸೊ ಇಂಥದ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ತುಂಬಾ ನಡೀತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. And again, between the girls and boys, there's a lot of let's say emotional aspects which vary. There's a bit of aggressiveness in the boys because of the testosterone levels going up, and in the girls there's a lot of commotion in terms of their insight and their feelings, etc. So I think this is a very turbulent period that every adolescent is meant to travel or traverse, and that becomes a little challenging for these young minds. And the second point I really wanted to bring along here is that ivaga ammana womb aliddaga, as a fetus or as a growing baby inside of a mother's womb, that is one window of opportunity that we have to make some changes so that their future health is great. Second window of opportunity is in the first year of life.
Okay.
ಅದಾದ ನಂತರ ಇವಾಗ ಈ adolescent stage is the last window of opportunity that we as a society have. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನಾವು ಈ ಟೈಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಜೋಪಾನವಾಗಿ ಅವನ್ನ ಕೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ the whole adulthood may be take a completely different turn. So it's a very impressionable age and the last window of opportunity to make some very important health interventions which will help them in their future health. So adu ತುಂಬಾ important point adu. And ನೀವು ಹೇಳ್ದಂಗೆ ತರುಣಾವಸ್ಥೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲೂ 3 phases ಇದೆ. It's not like one single window.
Yes,
there are
yes.
3 different phases. That's what we generally categorize it as. So early adolescents are 10 ರಿಂದ 14 ವರ್ಷ,
10 to 14 years early.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Middle adolescence between 15 and 17, and then late adolescence is 15 to 19.
Okay.
And then of course a little bit of early womanhood or manhood up to about 21. So this entire phase, every phase has its own challenges that we have to be aware of.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the starting period of adolescence begins at 10 years or 9 years. How do you?
Yeah. So adu ivaga WHO prakara the definition is 10 to 19 years of age.
Okay.
Again, the definitions vary in different sort of organizations, but I think we will stick to 10 to 19. But adrallu kudanu girls and boys gunu vyatyasagalide, as we all know.
Oh, there's a difference between. Okay.
Yes. So in terms of the physical changes.
Okay.
So ivaga it's not uncommon for all of us to see young girls as young as 9 years of age reaching their menarche, which is the first period. So ashtu ತರುಣಾವಸ್ಥೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ರಿಯಲಿ ಎಳೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ when they're going through physical changes, like the the
Right,
breast changes, or the
right, right,
hair growth, or even the first period, it's
right.
a bit challenging for them to
It's
sort
quite
of,
challenging. Yeah,
it is.
yeah,
And it's becoming quite common. Early menarche is becoming very common these days. We still do not know why, but it could be because of lifestyle.
right.
ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಆ ಮುಂಚೆ ತರ ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಫಿಸಿಕಲಿ ಆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ. They are more sort of sedentary nowadays.
Yeah, that is true.
Environmental factors tumba play ಆಗತ್ತೆ. But in terms of boys, it's slightly later, as we all know. From 13 years onwards is when they have their secondary changes in their body.
Right.
And it goes on till about 15, 16 years of age. So that is a slight difference in terms of the maturity, in terms of their thinking, as well as physical changes.
That is true.
So girls are a little ahead of boys in terms of
That is
development
true.
also.
That is why they always say, right? I mean, I'm drifting a little bit on the topic on a lighter way, because it's very intense topic, basically. Maturity level, when we talk, that is why the difference of age, when we used to get married those days, they used to say a difference of 3 to 4 years is a must between boy and a girl. The reason being, the boys are not that matured, the girls are already so matured, and it matches perfectly, so that even though 24 years age girl is getting married to a 28 years boy, she would have matured as much as the boy is already. So anyway, that's another topic. Some other day we can talk about it. Let's go to this beautiful philosophical song by our Annaru, and let's continue our excellent topic discussion. It's very interesting, Dr. Aruna. Let's listen to this very beautiful, ನನಗೂ ತುಂಬಾ ಇಷ್ಟ, ನಿಮ್ಗೂ ಇಷ್ಟನೇ ಈ ಹಾಡು, ಬಾನೆಗೊಂದು ಎಲ್ಲೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ. So let's listen to that. Yeah.
ಬಾನೆಗೊಂದು ಎಲ್ಲೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ, ನಿನ್ನ ಆಸೆಗೆಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊನೆಯಿದೆ, ಏಕೆ ಕನಸು ಕಾಣುವೆ, ನಿಧಾನಿಸು ನಿಧಾನಿಸು, ಬಾನೆಗೊಂದು ಎಲ್ಲೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ, ನಿನ್ನ ಆಸೆಗೆಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊನೆಯಿದೆ, ಏಕೆ ಕನಸು ಕಾಣುವೆ, ನಿಧಾನಿಸು ನಿಧಾನಿಸು. ಆಸೆಯೆಂಬ ಬಿಸಿಲು ಕುದುರೆ ಏಕೆ ಏರುವೆ, ಮರಳುಗಾಡಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಸುಮ್ಮನೇಕೆ ಅಲೆಯುವೆ, ಅವನ ನಿಯಮ ಮೀರಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಸಾಗದು, ನಾವು ನೆನೆಸಿದಂತೆ ಬಾಳಲೇನು ನಡೆಯದು, ವಿಷಾದವಾಗಲಿ ವಿನೋದವಾಗಲಿ ಅದೇನೇ ಆಗಲಿ ಅವನ ಕಾರಣ, ಬಾನೆಗೊಂದು ಎಲ್ಲೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ. ಹುಟ್ಟು ಸಾವು ಬಾಳಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡು ಕೊನೆಗಳು, ಬಯಸಿದಾಗ ಕಾಣದಿರುವ ಎರಡು ಮುಖಗಳು, ಹರುಷ ಒಂದೇ ಯಾರಿಗುಂಟು ಹೇಳು ಜಗದಲ್ಲಿ, ಹೂವು ಮುಳ್ಳು ಎರಡು ಉಂಟು ಬಾಳಲತೆಯಲಿ, ದುರಾಸೆಯೇತಕ್ಕೆ ನಿರಾಸೆಯೇತಕ್ಕೆ ಅದೇನೆ ಬಂದರು ಅವನ ಕಾಣಿಕೆ, ಆನೆಗೊಂದು ಎಲ್ಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿದೆ, ನಿನ್ನಾಸೆಗೆಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊನೆಯಿದೆ, ಏಕೆ ಕನಸು ಕಾಣುವೆ, ನಿಧಾನಿಸು ನಿಧಾನಿಸು, ನಿಧಾನಿಸು ನಿಧಾನಿಸು, ನಿಧಾನಿಸು ನಿಧಾನಿಸು.
ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ ಏಕೆ ಕನಸು ಕಾಣುವೆ, ನಿಧಾನಿಸು ನಿಧಾನಿಸು ಅಂತ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ರಾಜ್ಕುಮಾರ್ ಅವರು ಹಾಡಿದ ಸುಂದರವಾದ ಹಾಡು ಫ್ರಮ್ ದ ಮೂವಿ ಪ್ರೇಮದ ಕಾಣಿಕೆ. ಬ್ಯೂಟಿಫುಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಪೋಸ್ ಬೈ ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಉಪೇಂದ್ರ ಕುಮಾರ್ ಅಂತ ಅನಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಬಟ್ ಎನಿವೇ ಆರ್ ರಾಜನ್ ನಾಗೇಂದ್ರ, ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದೀಸ್ ಗೈಸ್. ಬಟ್ ಎನಿವೇ, ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಟು ಅವರ್ ಟುಡೇಸ್ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಆಫ್ ಕೇರಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್ ಅಡೋಲೆಸೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ದ ಏಜ್ 10 to 19 years ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಸೊ ನೀವು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಿ ಅವಾಗ ಬಾಯ್ಸ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಗರ್ಲ್ಸ್ ಇದು ನಾರ್ಮಲಿ ದೇರ್ ಇಸ್ ಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ ಗರ್ಲ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 3 different types of age group ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ, and there are different types of ಇದು ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ನಾರ್ಮಲಿ ವಾಟ್ parents should expect from at this point of time that their child is going through these kind of transformation in her or his life, and because it is basically, I would consider it as more like understanding the psychology of the kid, understanding what is going on in her or his life, which becomes quite a challenging for the parent. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, this is an extremely important part of this talk, I'm sure. Every parent faces their own set of challenges. Every child is a completely different package altogether. We have to be aware that the growth of every child is also very different. I mean, every child will not grow in the same manner. You can't really compare them with anybody else. That's extremely important to understand. So the maturity level, physically, emotionally, whatever it may be, is cannot go at the same level. So the most important thing we as parents should do is not to compare. Because once we start comparing and talking about it with our children, there's a whole set of new problems that we bring to our the little mind. The second thing is that we all have to be aware that they are going through their own set of challenges, and keeping our communication channels open. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಒಂದ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನಾವು even if we are working parents, 9 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ ಹೋಗಿ 6 ಗಂಟೆ 7 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ ಬಂದ್ರು ಸಹ ಅವ್ರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಒಂದು 5 to 6 times there are very important moments in the whole sort of day that we have to connect with them. One, preferably as soon as they wake up. ಒಂದ್ಸತಿ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಸಿ, what's your plan for today, on salpa affection ತೋರ್ಸೋದು. ಎರಡನೇದು, if possible, have breakfast together. ಮೂರನೇದು, of course, if they've gone to school, you might not be able to see them until they come back from school. Even if they do come back by around 2-3 o'clock, it's ideal if we were working parents to call them and just make sure the day has been okay, and have a little conversation at that time. Come back home and don't get engrossed with your own jobs. ಒಂದ್ಸತಿ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಮಾತಾಡ್ಸಿ, even a 2-minute talk is more than sufficient for them to feel connected.
Correct, yeah.
And ಮತ್ತೆ ಒಂದ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ affection ತೋರಿಸಿ, try to do something together, either cooking a meal or spending some time with their homework. I mean, I'm sure most parents do that, but we get so engrossed with our own work, and IT professionals are continuously engaged with the computer. So just like, I think a very important point that may help us is to treat our children, sorry to say this word, as customers. It's not like that. I mean, it's not a bad connotation. What I'm trying to say is, on customer na nav ಎಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ನೋಡ್ಕೊತೀವಿ, ಅಥವಾ ನನ್ನ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಷನಲಿ ಪೇಷನ್ಸ್ ನ ಎಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ನೋಡ್ಕೊತೀವಿ, ಅದೇ ರೀತಿ ಅದೇ ತರ ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್, ಅದೇ ತರ ಟ್ರಸ್ಟ್, ಅದೇ ತರ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಶನ್ ನಾವು ಅವ್ರಿಗೂ ತೋರಿಸಿದ್ರೆ, ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಮೇಕ್ ಅ ಹ್ಯೂಜ್ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಟು ದ ರಿಲೇಶನ್ಶಿಪ್.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah.
And ನೀವು particular ಕೇಳಿದ್ದು parents what should they expect ಅಂತ.
Yeah.
Again, there'll be a lot of mood fluctuations. There may be a big need for privacy. ತುಂಬಾ ಅವ್ರ ಪಾಡ್ಗೆ ಅವ್ರು ಇರ್ಬೇಕಂತಾರೆ ಅಥವಾ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಟೈಮ್ ಸ್ಪೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂತಾರೆ. So we should not feel left out at that time. And there may be a huge sense of identity. So we should be able to, sort of gel along and give them that sense of identity. Also importantly, having a positive self-esteem is very important. So if they're comparing with somebody, we should be able to tell them, look, you have your own set of abilities, your own set of talents. You're not the same as someone else. Anta avrige ond salpa reinforcement kodta irbeku. One more thing is trust na yavattu break ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು. Suppose you have something, you've told them something and you're spying on them, or you're trying to cross check with their friends, then that will definitely not have a very positive influence on our relationship. So we should be
totally agree,
trusting them completely.
Right,
absolutely. Right. Yeah. One more important thing, Raji Aure, you've gone through it, so you know everything about it. But ee naduve what we as parents should be very much aware of, and we as doctors should be aware of all, or other red flag signs, or some signs that things are not right. Adu hege pick up ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು. Okay, I mean every teenager is different, but ಒಂದು sleep disturbances ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ. ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಟೈಮ್ ಮಲ್ಕೋತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅಥವಾ ಮಧ್ಯದ ರಾತ್ರಿ ಎದ್ದೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, or they're getting up very early in the morning and not able to sleep back again. So that's one thing. Secondly, ತುಂಬಾ isolated ಆಗಿರ್ತಾರೆ. They don't want to come. Of course, many teenagers don't want to come for social functions, but beyond that level, they want to be isolated, not mingling with their friends. ಅದೊಂದು. ಅಥವಾ ತುಂಬಾ ಬಾಡಿ ಇಮೇಜ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡೋದು, ತುಂಬಾ ಮಿರರ್ ನೋಡೋದು, ಅಥವಾ ಊಟ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಡೋದು. People might think that they're obese. They may not. Exactly. ಅವರು ತುಂಬಾ ದಪ್ಪ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾ ಇದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಬರ್ಬೋದು, ಎಸ್ಪೆಷಲಿ ಗರ್ಲ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. They feel that they're becoming overweight, but they may not be. ಸೊ ಆವಾಗ ಊಟ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಡೋದು, ಸರಿಯಾಗಿ ಟೈಮ್ಗೆ ತಿಂದೇ ಇರೋದು. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಇನ್ ಅ ಸಿವಿಯರ್ ವೆರೈಟಿ, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಅನೋರೆಕ್ಸಿಯಾ ನರ್ವೋಸಾ. ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಪಿಕಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಬುಲಿಯಿಂಗ್ ಒಂದಿರ್ಬೋದು ಕಾಲೇಜಲ್ಲೋ ಸ್ಕೂಲಲ್ಲೋ, ಮೇ ಬಿ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ವಿಕ್ಟಿಮ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಬುಲಿಯಿಂಗ್, ಅಂಡ್ ವಿ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ದಟ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ. ವಿತ್ ಓಪನ್ ಚಾನಲ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಶನ್ ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಗೆಟ್ ದಟ್ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್. ಅದರ್ವೈಸ್ ನಮ್ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಸಿಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಅಂಡ್ ವಿ ಶುಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಟ್ರೈ ಅಂಡ್ ಗೆಟ್ a little bit of information from their friends. So ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ our friends ಜೊತೆಗೆ ನಾವು ಕಾನ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಟಚ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋದು ಒಂದು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಹ್ಯಾಬಿಟ್ ಅಂತ ನನ್ಗನ್ಸತ್ತೆ.
I think that's a very valid point, because in my experience, I can just tell 30 seconds thing that we used to call our kids' friends home as well, because involve them together in any kind of activities they would like to do. And it doesn't mean that we don't trust their friends, we don't want our child to go to their houses, but it is like a rotational thing, right? Exactly, so you do it this time at our place, next time at your place, so that there is a kind of a solid bonding which happens. And at the same time, the trust starts getting built up between the parents as well as between the kids themselves. And and they start opening up more and more about their friends, about their activities, and so on and so forth. Sorry, please continue.
No, you're right. Absolutely. I think that's a very important point. I know the cyber addiction ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡಬೇಕಂತ.
Right. I was about to come on to that too.
Yes. Unfortunately, it's so rampant. In spite of all the parental controls that we have, phone ಬಂದ ತಕ್ಷಣ, I mean, even my 15-year-old son, I was very hesitant to give an access to a phone. But ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅವರು ಹೊರಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ, ಕ್ಲಾಸಸ್ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ, ಸೈಕ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. If they don't have a phone, we feel a bit uncomfortable with no communication ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. But I had to give him a phone, and now smartphones, I mean, I could have given him a basic phone, but he wanted to have a smartphone so that he could do his classes on Zoom, etc. And we do not have much control over their phones. So it's important to be a little aware and see their digital well-being as well, and not let cyber addiction take a big
control on them. Absolutely.
In
fact, smartphones and the gadgets have made, as you pointed out in the earlier of our conversation, that in today's world, the kids have very less access, in the sense they have access, but they don't want to make use of that access to go and play outside, physically. They would like to sit in their room, as you said, and they would like to be, not to socialize much. They would like to be away from the crowd as much as possible, because they have this electronic gadget. Yeah, which is very unfortunate.
I mean, see, the thing is, books are not anymore exciting for them.
No.
They're not exciting for them because books bittu iva YouTube alle eshton topics,
Yes.
more, there's visual appeal to it. There's an
Right.
audio appeal to it. So books
Right,
yaar otare,
Right.
Unfortunately, book reading is coming down in a major scale. But I think
Right.
all these, hopefully, as you said, physical activity, reading books, and inculcating good habits, parents in the barbeku. And unless
Right,
we set
right.
an example, they will not take up to it.
Yes. What they see,
we
they
have
follow
to
it.
be
Actually.
examples.
Correct,
Absolutely.
yes.
The way we interact with people, the communication,
Right.
the way we show empathy, interact with our friends. ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಅವರು
Right.
ನೋಡಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಬಿಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅವರು. In case we are meeting up with our friends, I think we should pull them along so that they know to what extent we are bonding and what's our communication like, so that they understand the value of
Right.
relationships and friendship, etc.
Correct. Very well. So let's keep the conversation going on. But before that, ಒಂದು ಸುಂದರವಾದ ಹಾಡು again ಜೊತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳೋಣ.
ಜೊತೆಯಲಿ ಇರುವೆನು ಹೀಗೆ ಎಂದು, ಹೊಸ ಹರುಷವ ತರುವೆನು ಇನ್ನು ಎಂದು.
ಎಂಥ ಮಾತಾಡಿದೆ ಎಂದು ನೀ, ಎಂಥ ಮಾತಾಡಿದೆ, ನನ್ನ ಮನಸ್ಸಿನ ಭಾವನೆ ನೀನೇ ಹೇಳಿದೆ. ಜೊತೆಯಲಿ ಇರುವೆನು ಹೀಗೆ ಎಂದು.
ಸವಿಗನಸಲಿ ಮನ ಕುಣಿಯಿತು ಒಲವಿನ ಈ ಮಾತಿಗೆ ಕರಗಿ ಹೋದೆ ನೋಟಕ್ಕೆ ಕರುವೆ ನಿನಗೆ ಬಾ ಪ್ರೀತಿ ಕಾಣಿಕೆ
ಜೊತೆಯಲಿ ಇರುವೆನು ಹೀಗೆ ಎಂದು
ಜೊತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಡು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಈಗ ಒಂದೆರಡು ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸ್ ಬಂದಿದೆ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಅರುಣ. ಸೊ ಐ ಹೋಪ್ ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ send that across to you. And one question is there any way we can prepare, make them aware of certain upcoming changes at around age 9 or so before they actually start experiencing and experimenting with those changes?
Absolutely. In fact, that brings to me to the book that I have written called Growing Up Right. And ಆ ಪುಸ್ತಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಥ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ಸ್ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಕವರ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. It's a very simple self-help booklet for adolescents. And well, unfortunately, it's not available online. The hard copies are available. And it's been translated. ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ತಿಳಿ ಕಲಿ ಬೆಳಿ ಅಂತ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಲೇಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಈ ನಡುವೆ ಇತ್ತೀಚೆಗೆ ತೆಲುಗುವಲ್ಲಿ ತೆಲುಸುಕುನವೇ ಚೆಲಿ and ತಮಿಳಲ್ಲಿ ಮಲರು ಮಟ್ಟುಕ್ಕಳ್ ಅಂತ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಲೇಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. This covers, there are notes for parents also. This covers the entire range of what we need to talk to them. So starting from physical changes, ivaga, as you rightly said, I mean, thanks for the question, but 9 ವರ್ಷದಿಂದನೇ ನಾವು ಹೇಳೋದು ಶುರು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಇಂಥದ್ದು ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. And it doesn't have to be a serious talk. ಒಂದು ಕ್ಯಾಶುಯಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳಕ್ ಶುರು ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. And regarding ಋತುಸ್ರಾವ ಅಂದ್ರೆ menstrual cycle, menstruation ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳಕ್ಕೆ, plus changes in the body, changes in the way they think, etc. ನಾವು ಹೇಳೋದು ಶುರು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. So this book is available. I mean, if anybody wants a copy,
sure,
we can certainly organize.
I will pass it on your information to the person who asked, and definitely they will be in touch. Yeah. And yes, one more question is, what if one catches the child lying, okay, quite often, and in spite of telling them not to lie?
Yeah, yes, that's a common problem. Intelligence of nowadays, this generation, is to that extent that it's very easy for them to lie and get away with it. So again, we cannot hold them to it. We can't keep questioning them. Avagénagatte ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ trust issues ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. So I think it's important to again set an example, and in some sort of an exemplary way try to get it across to them that lying will only cause more damage than bringing about a positive relationship and a positive change in their life. So ಅದನ್ನ ತುಂಬಾ ಸೂಕ್ಷ್ಮವಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡಲ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಪ್ರತಿ ಸತಿ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಬೈದು ಈ ತರ ಲೈ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ, you're not trustworthy anymore ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ it will worsen the situation. So yes. I think it's important to bring it to as an example. We've got to try and tell them how bad lying can be, and even quoting from your own life stories would probably help them realize that.
Wonderful. I hope the listeners who asked these questions got your answers. And so I know that you are a gynecologist and by profession and all, but this adolescence thing, it is connected with your profession, or what made you yes. I mean, what is that interest level that brought you in this particular topic?
Thank you for this question. Yes, I am an obstetrician and gynecologist by profession, which means I look after pregnant ladies from the time they conceive, and even before they conceive, even help them conceive sometimes until they deliver and beyond, and go on from until menopause. And I start with adolescents. So, starting from a 9-year-old girl to, 80-year-old, 90-year-old, 100-year-olds, I look after women of all ages. Wow. But adolescent health has been a passion of mine for a very long time. For many reasons, but one important reason is I connect to them very easily. I connect to adolescents very easily, and I can sort of bring my talk and make them relate to it. So I have been able to address many adolescents, probably more than 20, probably in even 50,000 adolescents in various college and school and club talks. So that's one important thing. Secondly, they are a treasure house, or a real treasure of knowledge, and there's so much to learn from them as well. When I give these talks over and along the way, I have learned so much from them as well. So that is another important reason. And the third reason being, we have a space there for giving them holistic services. ಈ ಕಡೆ pediatrician ಹತ್ರನೂ ಹೋಗಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ, ಆ ಕಡೆ gynecologist ಹತ್ರನೂ ಹೋಗಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. They have to be able to have some accessible, friendly, area to talk about their
Right,
problems.
yeah.
So that is why adolescent healthcare becomes so important. And I thought I should be one of them to provide it.
No, I
These
think,
are the three reasons.
of course, from your talks, from your knowledge, from your expertise, it appears to me that, people who are dealing with you or people who are taking this advice and care from you, definitely they must be very happy, and you must be doing fantastic job there. I'm pretty sure on that. So with this background and everything, do you also conduct like seminars on these topics, Dr. Aruna?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I do. So I've got, already prepared modules for early,
Okay.
middle, and late adolescents,
Wow.
boys and girls. And I do them regularly in schools, colleges, and clubs
Brilliant.
as well. And being a Rotarian in the Rotary E-Club of Bangalore of the district 3190 Bangalore has given me a huge opening to do more and more in the youth service area. So
Yes.
I would like to place that on record that, thank you for giving me that
No,
opportunity, Rotary.
absolutely.
Yes.
Because
so-
that also opens up a lot of avenues in terms of distributing your wealth of knowledge, and it's a need, for every parent. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
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 Excellent.
And not
I
only
think
directly to the children, it's important to talk to the parents as well. So, in
Yeah.
fact, as a follow through, I have done only parents. For example, recently there's a school called Cathedral School. So I spoke only to the parents of these children, starting from 5th standard to 10th standard, and that was very much appreciated. So it's not just talking to the adolescents, because they listen and forget, or they may not, pass on the information to their parents. It's important to talk to the parents as well.
right. Yeah. So since you gave such brilliant views and your thoughts to our viewers and the listeners, as a parent, how challenging was it for you to, or you are still going?
I'm still
obviously,
going
I
through
believe.
it. Yes. So I have a 11-year-old and a 15-year-old, both boys.
Oh, okay.
So you can imagine I'm in the thick of it.
Absolutely.
So we are trying our best to steer them in the right way.
Right.
But as I said earlier, every person is different. So
Yeah.
I do hope that I'll be a supportive parent to both of them, and they will see their calling soon.
Excellent. No, I think that experience is speaking out, and we can make out
Nothing
that
compared to you, Rajiv ji. Nothing compared to you. So you must be able to tell us, a few guidelines as well.
Sure. Very nice. And well, I think we are almost getting close to our time for today, and I'm pretty sure. I mean, Dr. Aruna, as we spoke earlier before we started this show, that we are going to have some kind of sequel, not only on this particular topic but different topics with you every few weeks, and that is very kind of you that you are okay with that. And because I think I feel strongly that through this media we can spread as much as wealth of our knowledge, and give it to the listeners, the parents who are in need of such things. And ಕನ್ನಡವಾಣಿ ಕೇಳುವವರಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಏನಂದ್ರೆ, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಅರುಣಾ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ with us every few weeks talking about different topics, and so that will definitely help the listeners as well as the viewers, and also it will help the real needy ones in terms of from the medical perspective. So with that, you want to say something to our viewers and the listeners, Dr. Aruna?
Yes, certainly. I would like to really thank from the depth of my heart Rajiv Kulkarni ji, for giving me this opportunity to say a few words about what I really care about, which is very close to my heart. And thank you every parent, every single spectator. Ella prekshadage ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. and I hope we've been able to have some meaningful time together. And
Yes.
looking forward to many more such shows, Rajiv ji. Thank you
Absolutely,
for playing my
absolutely.
favorite songs. It was a pleasure to listen to them.
Absolutely, absolutely. We will do that. And I once again thank you very much for your time for today, because it was heavily raining and you made it right on time, and it's a valuable time of yours. And I know how busy you are as your profession calls like that. And it has been an extremely 1 hour. I don't know how it went off. I don't know how it flew. And a lot of inputs. I think our viewers got it, our listeners got it. In fact, I also learned few things definitely out of that. And I really thank you once again, Aruna ji. And I look forward to seeing you again. With that, we will conclude today's Kannadavani show episode. ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಮುಂದಿನ ಭಾನುವಾರ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಎಪಿಸೋಡ್, ಇನ್ನೊಬ್ರು ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಗೆಸ್ಟ್ ಜೊತೆ ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎ ಟಾಕ್. ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ವೆರಿ ಮಚ್.
Thank you.
ಓಂ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಾನಂದ ಓಂಕಾರ ಆತ್ಮಾನಂದ ಸಾಕಾರ. ಓಂ ವೇದಾಂತರ್ಯ ಝೇಂಕಾರ ಆಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮಾಭಿಮುಖಸಾರ. ಹೇ ದಿನಕರ ಶುಭಕರ ಧರೆಗೆ ಬಾ, ಈ ಧರಣಿಯ ದೇಗುಲ ಬೆಳಗು ಬಾ. ನೀಗಿಸು ಬಾಳಿನ ಅಹಂ 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 ಅಹಂ. ಮಾನಸ ಮಂದಿರ ತುಂಬು ಓಂಕಾರನಾದವೋ.
ಓಂ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಾನಂದ ಓಂಕಾರ ಆತ್ಮಾನಂದ ಸಾಕಾರ.
ನಗುವ ಮನಸ್ಸೇ ಸಾಕು ನಮಗೆ, ಹಗಲು ಕನಸೇ ಬೇಡ. ಮನೆಯ ತುಂಬ ಪ್ರೀತಿ ಸಾಕು, ಬೆಳ್ಳಿ ಚಿನ್ನ ಬೇಡ. ತಂದೆ ತಾಯೇ ದೈವ, ಗುರುವೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಜೀವ ಎಂಬ ದಿವ್ಯ ಮಂತ್ರ ನಮ್ಮ ಹೃದಯ ತುಂಬಿಸು. ಅಂತರಂಗ ಮಾಡು, ದಯೆ ತೋರೋ ಧರಣಿಯಂತ ಮನೋಧರ್ಮ ನೀಡು. ನೊಂದ